How's it going, everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy Easter Sunday. Happy Easter Sunday. There's got to be some kind of you know how all these holidays that we call kind of Christian holidays, Christmas, Easter, they've got some other kind of ties to them too, don't they? I mean, doesn't it seem like there's some sort of other like ancient Roman or Druid or something kind of a mix? I wonder what Easter is. I've not looked it up. That sounds like a fun thing to investigate. Making some French toast. Oh, Ryan, I'm jealous. Hungry over here. Ryan got first. Good job, dude. Way to go. David, Tony's here from good evening from the UK. How's it going? Evening from the Netherlands. Jor's here. Teacher Gone Tech, aka Jor. You keep changing your name, huh? How's it going, man? That's your favorite? Oh yeah, remember to go do the Discord /here in Discord to get your stream points. I don't know what we're gonna do with them yet, but you're gonna get them. Oh man, how's it going, everybody? So tell me about your weeks. What have you guys been up to this week? What have you been up to this week? I can tell you about mine. We just got back from the Hobbit-House last night, and we had a good weekend up there. Our solar panels are connected, we're at like 99%. We're like 99%. We were missing two things. We're missing well, I can tell you about it a little bit. How much detail do you want? How much detail? Got the dig quad you sent working. Yes! I can't believe how long that took. I cannot believe how long that took. That is just craziness. Like, I sent that at like Christmas time, didn't I? It was like January maybe. Good grief. An enclosure from Justin Z designed. Ooh, I want to see this enclosure. And there's somebody who was gonna Blades here. Wow, I didn't even say Node Red yet. How's it going, dude? Thanks for being here, man. Thanks for being here. Hope things are going well for you, my brother. Can't stay long. Baseball practice. I understand. 17/12. Oh my gosh, I sent it on the 17th of December, and you just got it like a week ago, right? Good grief. We could have put it on a sailboat, and I could have put it in a bottle, and put it in the ocean, and it could have got there faster than that. Man, nuts. All right, Barry's here. Thank goodness. So I was telling you the solar panel stuff. So, we'll jump into wHobbit-Hole update. All right, we'll jump into wHobbit-Hole update real quick. So wHobbit-Hole update. So let's see, what was the name of that thing? The rapid shutdown. Oh, I guess I can find it. Let me find it in my email. That's probably a good way to show you. So I'm learning a lot of stuff, and it's really good. Like I caused myself a good bit of trouble by saying that I wanted to do the solar, and I wanted to be kind of in charge of the electrical stuff, and I wanted to do a lot of it myself. And I'm glad I have, because I've learned a ton of stuff. I have caused a lot of problems. Nothing's burned down or anything. I've caused a few sparks, but that was just carelessness. That wasn't really anything I did wrong. Careless. But let's see, rapid shutdown. I'm going to show you these. I want to show you the. Yeah. Let's just open this. Can I open this in another window somehow? Guess if I do print, it'll show it. Okay. So the inspector dude. All right. Thank you, Joseph, for subscribing. We haven't done any of these things in a while, so let's do unicorns. All good. Stubbs is here, and Michael saying thanks to Stubbs for helping out on Discord. Thank you, Stubbs. And Vanessa's here. Happy Resurrection Day. We were trying to think, like, I mentioned a minute ago, like, there's got to be some sort of, like, I don't want to say pagan like it's a bad thing, but like a Druid, ancient Rome kind of tie-in with Easter, isn't there? Like, it's just too many weird things, like rabbits and eggs, and like something's going on that I would love to learn the history of, like, how did we decide on doing what we do to celebrate Easter. Anyways, let me tell you about this. So solar panels. This is something I learned. Well, this is a wHobbit-Hole update. So a newer electrical code, 2017, and I guess there's even one for 2020. Most states are adopting them. Oh, look, there it is. 2017 and 2020 or 2020 is these rapid shutdown systems for solar panels. So what they want is for you to have a mechanism so that the fire department, if they have to come and do something to your house, put out a fire, get on your roof or whatever, that they can shut off the electricity coming out of the solar panels at each solar panel. Man. So they don't want to like shut it off at a box like a few feet away. All right, what are we fixing today? Just subscribed. You like unicorns or planes, sir? How's it going, by the way? Is Solar Assistant any good? Ooh, I don't know, Ian. I got to find out what that is. So anyways, we bought our solar panels, and not all solar panels are coming equipped with these things because 37 of our 50 states require them at this point or have adopted this code and have some sort of a rapid shutdown law. I was just reading about this, a couple articles yesterday. So I had to go in and put these on every panel, and where we got hung up was down here. All right, man, we got lots of good subscribings going on. I'm gonna do this fun new one that I put on here. I'm gonna turn this off so it's not burning. I can't hear the sound on that one, but hopefully it makes fun. Looks like he's holding something in his hand. So here's a trick I didn't know. This is something I didn't know. Oh, you said trains. Oh, right. Sir Goodenough said trains. All right, we'll do trains in a minute. So these are wireless. Okay. Is it a bit loud? Okay, I'll have to turn it down next time. Thank you. These are wireless. So you have to have a transmitter that remote controllably. How's that for technical? I don't know if it's probably RF, but I don't know what the protocol is here. But this thing transmits to these solar panel modules that look like this, that everything's okay. And if this is not powered on, or if these are just not getting the signal from this, they don't work, which pretty much sucks, right? Like I had my panels all hooked up yesterday and I was all excited. I'm testing the voltage, you know. I could have probably flipped the switch and got power from my solar panels yesterday. But when I'm testing the voltage, I'm getting 3 volts and I should be getting 90 volts. Because I got, just like this, I got 3 solar panels in series and these are 30 volts each. Well, I guess this isn't really showing the 3 in series, but that's what we have. And I think that's what most systems use. They put 3 panels in series. Each one produces 30 volts. You get a 90 volt system at the end. And I'm measuring like out here and I'm getting 3 volts. And I didn't know at the time, but I was hoping that this was the problem. And then it took some time for me to sort it out, look it up. But basically it's right here. Executes shutdown when the signal is absent. Now, as users of Wi-Fi devices for smart home stuff, what kind of anxiety does that cause for you? Because it causes anxiety for me. Because if for one reason or another, any reason, this little unit does not receive the signal from this little box, then I'm losing, even if it's just one, because there's one of these on each solar panel. But if one of them shuts down, I'm probably losing most of the voltage, if not all of it, from those 3 panels. So each set of 3 panels has a third, has 33% chance at any given moment that it's going to lose the signal. So this worries me a lot. That it's going to constantly be losing this signal and I'm going to be constantly losing power from my solar panels. So we'll see how it goes. Somebody mentioned to me, a solar guy who does solar stuff for a living, mentioned to me that you don't need these, or you shouldn't need these if it's an unoccupied building, as in if they could just let it burn, then you shouldn't need these. But if that's the case, then yeah, do you have to have these devices in the system? That's the thing, Ian, is according to the inspector, I do, but I don't think he, these guys are doing, this guy, when I submitted my plans, he said, I've got 125 people ahead of you. So my guess is he's reviewing some of these things so fast that he's missing some details. And the fact that this is a shed that's dedicated just to energy and that it's all by itself and that nobody has to get up on the roof ever, I think potentially we don't need this, but at this point it's there. I paid for it and I spent a ton of time getting it all wired into the system. So we'll flip the switch. We'll turn it on here soon. Now that we got some instructions, we know how to wire this thing up a bit better. And then we'll just hope for the best. But yeah, having my solar panel output rely on any sort of wireless signal from one device to another worries me quite a bit. Quite a bit. I've just had too many things fail that were wireless, right? So that was a big thing that we dealt with this weekend. But we did get, it was good. Like I got all my solar panel stuff done. Like I don't have to go up on the roof anymore. That we have to connect the last couple of tiny things, those things there, and then we can flip a switch and we can start having solar. Did I tell you guys about the batteries? Did I tell you about the batteries yet? So you know that I've had lots of battery problems, right? I had frozen batteries, right? How about a ground-based array that is 200 feet from any structure, right? I mean, that's what this is. Is it a ground-based? I mean, it's just like a really, really fancy mounting system. It's a building, but there's no people in it. There's no people in it. So I started reading the code last night, but I didn't get too far into it. So I don't know if there's something specific about that. I'm tempted to email the guy and ask him, but at this point it's too late. I've already done it. So I will ask him when he does come to do the final inspection, though. I'll be like, hey, this is an unoccupied building. Do we really need this thing? And if we don't need it and it causes me problems, then I'll just take it out. So battery systems. So I'm going to probably go with this battery pack. So this is a lithium iron phosphate battery pack, 14 kilowatts. I'll need more than one. But the biggest reason that I'm looking at this pack specifically is this right here. So a lot of these, I know you guys probably can't see that. Let me zoom it in. There we go. So a lot of these battery packs, especially lithium iron phosphate, surprisingly. Hello from Croatia. Hello. Put it into past, then remove it. No one will know. That's true too. That's why I'm saying, like, that's true too. Good point, Ian. Like, even if it's why per panel, not per series, i.e. the 90 volt line. Yeah. Good question. Sir, good enough. Good question. We won't do it today, but we'll play around with the code. We'll look at the code specifically, like offline on Discord or something, because I want to understand it really well. All right. Nick's here and Victor's here. Now, this is for Sir Goodenough for renewing his subscription. He asked for trains. And the horn is for Blade, because he loves that it's a semi-truck horn and not a train horn. Because we crap about it all the time. It probably isn't just Blade. It's probably others too. All right, Seamus is here. How's it going, dude? Have you started looking at these batteries too, Ian? So this company, this big battery company, is you do like that horn. Good, I'm glad. I do too. This big battery company, they're in Southern California, and I think they started their business by recycling batteries, making battery packs out of recycled batteries. So they would get used leaf cells, used laptops, used anything they could find. And somebody has sent me a train horn sound, Nick, but I've been ignoring it. I'm happy with my choo-choo horn. Anyways, so this big battery company, they started out doing batteries completely with recycled cells. They probably still do some, but I think they're using a lot of new cells as well. Don't forget to go to Discord and type /here to get your points. So I did this whole cost breakdown. Check this out. You guys will like this. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. I did this cost breakdown. I have to sometimes. I've gotten so good at moving things off the screen, haven't I? Like no password leaks in months. Except, I guess, no, never mind. My credit card number was on there last week. I forgot about that. Don't. Okay, so I went through this whole system here, and I just looked at a whole bunch of different batteries. Got to run. See you later, Blade. Thanks, dude. That was you, sir, good enough that sent me the horn? Or the right choo-choo train? Okay, so what I did was a big comparison here of AGM batteries, which are lead acid, basically, but you don't have to put water in them, and lithium iron phosphate. And I did a breakdown of the cost for getting somewhere in the ballpark of 30,000 watt hours, usable watt hours. So there's a few things that you have to take. You guys know these things, but I'm learning these things. These batteries have been all over YouTube. Yeah, I've been watching some of them too, and it looked pretty good. And the credit card's blurred now. Thank you very much. A load of people have been reviewing them. Good. I think they're fairly new. So anyways, I want to get about 30,000 usable watts or watt hours. And something that you don't always, they don't tell you in the marketing materials for batteries is like, when you're getting an AGM battery, you'll be lucky if even the deep cycles, you're only going to go to about 50% discharge. So if you want 30,000 usable watt hours, you got to have 70,000 or 60, I guess technically, but whatever, kilowatt hours of the battery pack, right? So you have to buy. You can't say, oh, this, and you guys know this, but you can't get a lead acid battery pack that's the same kilowatt hours as a lithium iron phosphate battery pack and compare them like they're the same. They're not the same, not even close, because the lithium iron phosphate, you could probably discharge them down to 5 or 10% of capacity. I figured this at 80% discharge, so they'd have 20% capacity left. And then what I did was, so that means you need a smaller battery pack, right? Where these are like 1600 amp hours, these are like 800 amp hours. And then I did a comparison. The other thing you have to consider is that your lead acid batteries are not going to have the same cycles, the same number of cycles before they start puttering out. They're just not. They're gonna die way before. And I don't know if this is really accurate, but these are some of the numbers that I could find. But your lead acid batteries are not going to last as long. They're not going to be able to do as many cycles, charge and discharge cycles, as lithium iron phosphate batteries. So when you're buying them, you're lucky. I think you're lucky if you're going to get 10 years out of some of these lead acid batteries. Some of them say 10 years, some of them say 5 years. But when you're comparing the cost, you're not comparing this cost with this cost, because this cost is going to last you 15 years probably. The lithium iron phosphate batteries are probably going to last you 15 years. And so this is not like, this price is not a 15-year price on the lead acid. This is a 15-year price, because in 10 years, you'll probably have to replace them again. So basically 15-year price is half of the first initial price again. That's just kind of how I did it, to compare apples to apples here a little bit. And then I did a usable kilowatt hour, dollars per kilowatt hour usable equation here, right? So this is pretty good, right? Break it down to 1 year. You could do that too, but this was good enough for me. This was good enough for me. With the new K variant, K variant is a kind of lithium iron phosphate, P Cruise, is that right? So anyways, what I came up with some of these dollars per kilowatt hours, and you can even see that most of the lead acid, I don't know what's up with this one particularly, but most of the lead acid ones are not very good as far as a per kilowatt hour based on a 15-year cost, right? And the one I'm going with here, this big battery Rhino, is not the cheapest on the list, but the reason that I'm going with it is because of this. So you guys that have been kind of paying attention, you know that I had batteries freeze. I had some flooded lead acid batteries, and they discharged too far and they froze. And so that right now I don't have a battery pack. I spent whatever it was, $5,000 or $6,000 on a battery pack, and right now I don't have a battery pack. Most of the lead acid, or even most of the lithium iron phosphate batteries have a charging temperature of 0 degrees Celsius, freezing. So if it's below freezing, then the BMS will not allow you to charge it. And that for us up there is a problem, potentially, because it's going to be potentially below freezing a lot, or occasionally at least. This particular battery, I'm sure there's others, but this particular battery, of all the ones that I looked at here, so I looked at Fortress, Renogy, Dakota, Battery Evo, another different big battery kind of pack, and this Ampere Time, and none of them had a charging temperature of minus 20 C, except this one. And I asked these guys. They have a pretty good support chat here, where the people that answer the chat are actually pretty knowledgeable. So I talked to them and asked them specifically, why is that? And they just said it's a different kind of cell. So I wonder if this is potentially this K variant cell, P. Cruz, that you're talking about. Do you know? Do those have a lower range allowable charge temperature? Because we need that. I'm going to insulate the room, and we could insulate, put them in a box and insulate the box, and we could probably keep it above freezing anyways. But I would much rather be in this kind of situation where I can charge them anywhere down to minus 20 C, because it is not going to get to minus 20 C up there. That's not going to happen. So I know that I'm going to be safe, right? I asked him if they had a heated mat inside, and he said they didn't. So I don't know for sure. Other than, like I said, all he told me was, he said they have a different kind of cell. It's still lithium iron phosphate, but he said it's a different kind of cell. So I don't know. But this is probably the battery pack I'm going to go with. And I did watch several of the reviews on YouTube that people talked about, and it looks pretty good. This little thing, though, it's like 4 feet long, 2 feet tall, about 5 inches wide, and weighs like 300 pounds. It is dense. It is dense. So anyways, so that's fun. I've been playing around with this, doing this power stuff up there at the Hobbit house, and had a good weekend up there. Got a lot of the last bit of cosmetics, some stuff done. Got another fake beam put up we needed. Got some porch lights, outside lights connected finally. We had a good weekend up there. We had a good weekend. So there's the wHobbit-Hole update. Our goal right now, I know we've been we thought we could, when we started building it and stuff, we thought, well, we're gonna finish in July and we'll work on a couple of more things, and then we'll start getting it rented out in September last year. Didn't happen. Clearly did not happen. But where we're at now, we feel like we actually are at the point where we can let more people use it. We've had a few friends stay up there and stuff, but we're gonna get at the point here in the next month where we can let some people use it. So for the month of June, we're gonna kind of lend it out, let people use it, and give us feedback, see what breaks, see what things are tricky or trouble for them, and then hopefully July we can actually flip the switch on renting it out, put it on Airbnb and all that stuff. Could you not use heat trace system to aid in preventing batteries from freezing? Yeah, you could, Michael, and a lot of people do. And that's what I would do if I didn't have this option. If I didn't see these battery packs that are, they look pretty good as far as a lot of the other parameters, and they've got this low temp charging rating. But if I couldn't do that, that's what I would do. I would do some sort of heating element thing. So you've been looking at Voltacon, which looks like a Pylon Tech battery. Oh my gosh, I don't know what a Pylon Tech battery is. Oh my goodness. But that takes power. It does take power, right? You have to charge something so you can charge the battery. So it's a little catch-22, but if you do it ahead of time, like if you know that your battery is getting to the range where it's going to need to charge, and then you use some of that charge to warm the battery so that then you can charge the battery, that's kind of how I would expect it would work. But anyways, that's been fun. All right, you guys want to go on to topic number 2, or should we keep talking about solar and Hobbit House? Because I could talk about that forever. These in your generators to prevent the heater from battery from freezing. Okay, cool. Looking at those batteries and the EG4 brand. There are so many brands. Man, when I was looking for lithium iron phosphate batteries to do my bug back in like 2019, maybe it was 2018, 2019, whenever I first bought the bug, More about solar and batteries. Ian's all into solar and batteries. When I was looking for, there was like hardly anybody in the US you could buy a lithium iron phosphate battery pack from. Now there's tons. There's probably 50 different places that are in the US. And they might, most of them aren't making the cells here, but they are assembling the packs and the BMSs, and they're testing them and all that stuff here. Like Big Battery and a whole bunch of others. But man, like 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, there weren't any. So this is great. This is good. This is really good. Missed the EG4 deals, plus shipping to the UK would kill me. Oh. EG4, huh? I don't know what EG4 is about. Let's check it out. You guys are gonna make me. Oh, these are like server mount batteries, huh? Server rack batteries. So this is 100 amp hours for $1,500. 15 years at 80% depth of discharge. Let's look at the spec sheet. And parallel 16 packs. This is a 12 volt probably. 25 amp breaker, stated charge display. Oh no, this is a 48 volt pack. Sweet. And so here's the charge range. Like this is what I was talking about too, right? These are freezing, right? You get below freezing and they don't want you to charge them. Built-in BMS. So this is good. This is good. Where does this fall? Now I closed my tab, but where would that fall? At $1,500 for 100 amp hours. Let me see. I should not have put away my spreadsheet. So if we were looking back at my spreadsheet here, so for 100 amp hours, I would need 8 of them. So it's probably going to be around here. So it's probably similar to something like that. Because if it's 100 amp hours at 1,500, so we'd have to be 1,500 times 8, which is going to be about 14,000, right? Somewhere in there. I don't know where my calculator went. 12,000. So it'll be 12,000. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. So that would be in the ballpark of this Evo battery. So that's not too bad. Yeah, 1,500. I would need 8 of them. So it would be at 12,000. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Times 48, so that would be our kilowatt hours. And then we multiply that by 80. 46 usable. Is that right? I think I must have done something wrong. So if it was 800, so 8p, this would be equals this times 48. Yeah, that's a little bit better. That times 0.8. Yep, so 30. So right in there. And then we would be right here. This would be 1,500 times 8, because I need 8 of them. And then this would be this. Yeah, divided by that. Dollars per kilowatt hour over 15 years. That is pretty cheap. That's pretty cheap. That's a pretty good one. That's awesome. See how fast that is? So the bass drum activities channel, wait, what? So the bass drum channel 1 LEDs. I don't know what that means, John. Let's see. Hi from the UK. Is there a way of using, way of using wLED but having different channels? So channel 1 at 60 hertz to 200 hertz. Oh boy. So the bass drum activates channel 1 LEDs. Oh my gosh, John. Okay. So you're doing audio reactive. Yes, there should be. You should be able to do that. You should be able to take the audio reactive. I haven't done it, so I'm not verifying that it would do this, but in my mind, you can take the audio reactive version of wLED and you can assign different effects to different segments and different outputs. But I think as far as the frequency, to change it so that the frequency, what you would have to do is just change the effect, probably. I don't think you can. I didn't see anything in that I recall in there that lets you change the frequency that it reacts to for different ones. I'm not sure. There are effects that do react to frequency and some that don't. But I would give it a play. It might work. There might be a way to do something similar to what you're doing. I don't think there's not a setting in wLED where you can say, okay, output number 1, I want you to respond to this frequency. Output number 2, I want you to respond to this frequency. You can't customize it like that, but there's probably some other way to get there. Right? Probably some other way to get there. And then the SOK batteries, are those guys, I know that they, what's his name, talks about them all the time. Will, right? Quick squirrel. Huh? Would you recommend under cabinet lighting that use a physical switch or going wireless like wLED, hue, etc.? I would suggest doing both, Pat, and you're welcome, John. I would suggest doing both. So what you would do is put in wLED lights, probably a white and RGB strip, like the 6812, SK6812, which have a white channel as well as the RGB. And then put a button on in an accessible place, because most of the time the rest of the family is going to want a button. So if your significant other is anything like mine, they will want a button because they're probably not going to get the app out. But you still want the wireless capability because you do want to be able to automate it. You want it to go on at a certain time, go off at a certain time. You want it to, react to motion, or you want it to react to people being home or not home, or hours of the day, all those kinds of things that you can do through wLED or Home Assistant. But you want the combination of having that plus the button. I did a video about adding a button to wLED just a couple weeks ago. It's hardly gotten anybody to watch it, but it's really important and it's really good. So check it out. It's there. It's good. So SOK batteries. Do these guys have stock right now? That's the question. Do they have stock? Here is, holy cow. So this is 24 volts. That's why. Let's see if they have a 48 volt. 12 volt. 12, 12, 12. 40. So they don't have a 48 volt? They don't have a 48 volt battery? I mean, I know you could combine them, but I'd rather not. Well, basically that would be 2 of these more or less, right? So now you're talking 100 amp hours for $2,000. So there'd be a little bit more than those other ones. But I know that Will Prowse, is that how you say his name? He does a lot. He loves these SOK batteries. Thanks for the insight. It is important, right? The WAF. Good power pack. Let's see where you're at. Yes, to portable, and use a 5 volt power board. Let's see. I use a signoff on the PSU. Okay. Sweet. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, I'll tell you too. Let me tell you about this pump. This is actually really good. So off-grid stuff. Let's see. DAB pumps. We're going to look this up real quick. We're going back to the Hobbit-Hole for just another couple minutes. Because this was also a really important thing. So, again, some of you that have been following along, you may know that I had we had some water pressure issues. We had some water pressure issues. And when we were initially, actually, you could see it on the show. So if you watch the TV show that they did about us, um, the we were trying to wet the sand because we were dumping this dry sand on top of the house and it would just was running right off. So we thought, well, we'll wet it. Well, we've got a hill, right? So the house is down here, the well is up here, and the tank is up here. But the height and difference, I don't know what the height and difference is between the ground here and the ground where the Hobbit house is, but I can tell you by the time we bury the tank, if the tank is low, it's probably 8 feet at least underground to the bottom of our well tank. And then you go to the top of the Hobbit house, which is probably another 12 plus feet from ground level at the Hobbit house. All of a sudden, the difference in the height, the gravity difference, or the height, and we were counting on gravity to flow water to the Hobbit house. Not Hobbit house. What, do you want to get sued? We were counting on gravity. But as our tank is lowered into the ground, and our house, the roof especially, is, or the first floor, the shower in the first floor and stuff, as that raises up, our gravity is really pretty different. I mean, really we're not a lot of gravity. It's different than when you're at the top of the tank and the bottom of the house. So we needed a flow pump. Michael, I'll answer that in a second. Try the ask thing. Does the ask thing work? Is the ask thing working? I'll scroll back and grab those questions in a second, guys. So I talked to my well person, and he recommended this pump, and that's actually about what we paid for it. And we just finally got it installed. I'll show you at some point where we got it installed, because we did not install it like this nice lady here in her house, like in her kitchen or something. And we certainly don't have a doggy laying next to it. We installed it in a makeshift manhole right by the pump, because we want it to also pump water to some hydrants outside of the pavilion and stuff, so we can get some water out there. But anyways, this thing's pretty good, and I was really impressed at how well it works. It runs on 115 volts. I guess we could put it to 230 if we wanted to. Per hour, 230 volts. I guess maybe we should try it. I'll look into the instructions and see if we can do it that way. But right now it just comes with a plug. We plug it in and it runs. And it really is pretty cool the way it works. So it's got a sensor on it. And if it senses that the pressure is less than whatever you set it to, I think we've got it set to like 4. I think he told me 4 psi is what it's set to now. So if the water pressure drops below 4 psi, then the pump it turns on, and it pumps until it detects a pressure of 40 psi. Then it stops. Well, then you've got water pressure at the house, and I guess it's just like, because it's in the tubes and then your hot water tank. I don't know exactly where this pressure goes. I mean, maybe it's just, like I said, we got 500 plus feet of like poly tubing, so it's probably in there really. So then once you start using the water, the pressure is going to drop, but it's not going to like instantly drop just because you took a shower or something, but it's going to drop. But the pump won't turn back on until it gets really low. So that's really good for our off-grid thing. Like what I don't want is for a pump to be constantly running, constantly trying to push pressure, right? So this is really good. I'm really happy about this. And we got it working, and we got to have lots of water pressure. So this was a big deal towards getting us to that point where we could have people using the house a lot. I mean, we had water pressure, but we didn't have much water pressure. It was kind of, especially upstairs, master bedroom, shower, it was just a trickle. Not anymore. Now we got good pressure. It's really good. So, all right, I'm going to go back. Got to do dad stuff. See you later, John. All right, let's go back up. Sued, why? What's happened? Oh, just Tolkien and Hobbits. All right, Michael, if I have a chance, are you able to go over how I can use an LED light from a TV to act as a trigger? Turn on and off. I've been advised an opto relay, but a little confused on how to program it. Oh boy. You want to use an LED light from a TV to act as a trigger? Oh boy. So when the LED comes on the TV, you want it to do something? Well, I don't know if I know that. I've already used the relay output in wLED to trigger a second transformer for the lights. Can I use a relay on the 4 buttons section? Yeah. Can you use a relay on the other buttons section? You want wLED to output to another relay? I don't think you can. No, I don't think you can. I don't think you can. I was thinking about that the other day. In fact, that's funny you asked that because I was thinking about it, and um, I was thinking about other outputs from wLED because I want to play around with some servo motors and maybe some audio output. And so I was looking at ESPhome, and I know Tasmota had been working on some motor control functionality, and I was wondering about, what can you do with wLED to send a high or a low signal out to control something else. I could look into it. Maybe somebody else has compiled a different version that has some extra functionality, but as far as I know, the only output is to a relay, which is already programmed to respond as far as on off, just to the on off of the wLED lights that you have connected. So the controls in wLED. If you want it to do the same thing, like if you wanted to have the relay turn on and turn off your wLED lights and your TV at the same time, you could just use the same control wire and send it to 2 different relays. But I don't think you can send another output from wLED to another relay. You just want to know if the TV's on, you need a power monitoring plug. True dat. That's what I would agree with Stone Obscurity on that. If that is what you're doing, if what you want is just to know if the TV's on, try that just using a power monitoring relay. Another thing you could do, but it would be more complicated and probably not as accurate as a power monitoring relay, would be a light sensor. So something that is detecting light, and then just set it to a threshold. But I don't know that would be very good. Just another thought. Like P. Cruz just said, a light sensor. There you go. And Tanner's here taking a break from pulling Cat 6 for IP cameras to check in on the stream. How's it going, brother? Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. All right. Fun stuff today. Fun stuff. What else did I miss? Was there other questions back up in there? Let's see. Not a techie is converted to controlling lights by Alexa. Stand 3 feet from the switch and continue to just yell. John, that's awesome. So the wLED does do Alexa integration pretty well. It actually is pretty effective. What you have to do is just make sure that you name it correctly. So if you go in here to the config and I think it's sync interfaces. Is it sync interfaces? Yes, right here. See, I shouldn't have that checked. I should not have had that checked. I have probably 12 devices that are called light. But if you put a unique name in here, it has to be unique. Put a unique name in here. The more unique, the better. And then click this emulate Alexa device. Save it. Give it a few minutes. And then tell Alexa to discover new devices or do it through your app. And it's pretty good. It discovers them, and then you can turn them on. You can turn them off. You can change the brightness. I believe you can set the color. I don't know about presets or effects. I don't think so. But I know you can do color. You can do brightness. And you can do on and off for sure. And our girls, so my little girls, they have their night lights up around their room, and that's what they use all the time. Right? They're called Girls Fancy Lights. So in here I put Girls Fancy Lights. And I actually reflashed theirs because they were on an old 8266 board, and I reflashed it with a ESP32 and the newest version of wLED. And so I had to redo this, and I redid it, and it worked still as Girls Fancy Lights. So pretty good. Will the sun shine tomorrow as well? Uh-oh. Sun will shine tomorrow as well. It's too sunny here to be inside, so I'll have to watch when it's uploaded. All right, see you later, Drex. Happy Easter, Peter. Happy Easter. Oh, Alan, thank you. Oh, I hope it reads this out loud. I tried to get it to read it out loud. Let's see if it'll do it. Otherwise, I'll read it out loud for you. Thank you very much, sir. Very, very kind. All right, Alan, let's see. I want to use E6 and wLED to create a totem light pole. Run off a USB battery pack. Love to have 200 LEDs. Oof. I'll tell you this, 200 LEDs, you're going to need a pretty big battery pack. Let's see if it says it out loud.
Alan Robertson super chat $10. I want to use the specially 8266 in wLED to create a totem light pole that will run off of USB battery pack. Love to have 200 LEDs. Love to find a wire diagram with the model of.
Dang it, it didn't read it out loud, did it? Shoot. Sorry, dude. Well, anyways, we can talk about this, Alan. So the first thing I'll tell you is that 200 LEDs off a battery pack is going to be tough. 200 LEDs off a battery pack is going to be tough. So if we go, let's go to the calculator real quick. And this just using, and these are 5-volt LEDs, I assume, right? You got some sort of a strip. So that's 4,000. So if you have a battery pack, you would have to have a 4,000 milliamp hour battery pack, okay, or a 4 amp hour battery pack would last you 1 hour of LEDs. So I don't know what you're trying to do with it, or how long you need it to last before you need to charge it again. And that's not counting the current that you would use from the ESP8266, which is also it's more than that's probably, I think it's about 0.2. So it's also going to contribute to this, not as much as 200 LEDs. So first thing is you're going to need a pretty big battery pack. Okay, you just got to figure out how long you want them to run. Okay. And the wiring shouldn't be any different. The wiring should be pretty straightforward because the battery pack, what I would suggest you do is just take your USB cable and just cut it. Cut your USB cable, and then these are going to be pretty small wires, but you can still do this because 4 amps through one of these, ooh, that would be pretty bad. But I guess if these USB-C are supposed to be able to do quite a bit, I don't know if they can do 4 amps, but anyways, cut this cable, and you'll either have 2 wires, which will just be black and red, or you'll have 4 wires, which will be black, red, white, and green. White and green are going to be the data. So just take the black and red wires, and those are your 2 positive wires. Run those to your LEDs, to your and to your ESP8266, and that'll work. But again, like this is a pretty big battery pack. I don't know what the amp hours are on this. This is only like a 2600. Oh no, 26. No, really? 26,000 milliamp hours? I guess so. Maybe this is a 26. So this will be a 26 amp hour battery pack. Wow. Huh. Okay, well, maybe it's fine. If you have a battery pack that's big like this, maybe it'll be okay. Because then you could run 200 LEDs for, what, 6 hours, 8 hours? Somewhere in there. With a pack like that. What battery does your sphere suggest? Oh, that sphere, that's true. They're using this little lithium battery. I don't know how long it's gonna last. They've got this little tiny thing. This is all they've got on here. It's a 1 amp hour. Oops. So this is the battery pack that came with it. It's like a little drone battery pack or something, and it's a 1 amp hour battery pack. It's only 3 volts. It's 3 volts, 1 amp hour. So I'm not gonna probably run my sphere on a battery I mean, I know it come with this one, but I'm probably not going to run it on that one. Quindor's here. Yay! And Sai is here to finally make it again. Man, TV Hat's also 194 LEDs. Let's see what's that. I would like to have maybe 100 LEDs and make it run for about 12 hours. Just do the math. And you know, the 0.04, this or 0.02 per LED is an estimate. It depends on what effect you're running. You know, it might be a little more or a lot more if you want it to just glow and be, you know, constantly doing stuff. But typically some of them are on, some of them are off, some of them are dim, some of them are bright. And so you can, you know, it's hard to estimate exactly what you're going to use. wLED does a pretty good job though of estimating. So if you were to, even if you were to go in here and you don't even have to have anything connected yet. And if you set your, oh my gosh, look at the Easter thing down here at the bottom. Did you guys see that? There's Easter egg things down here at the bottom. That's awesome. If you set this to a certain effect, so let's go to an effect. So let's go look first at the estimated current, right? So this is saying, yeah, I thought it gave us a more accurate current estimate. Where's the current estimate? I thought is there a more accurate current estimate, guys? Current estimated usage. There you go, right there. Okay, so so current estimated usage is this, and that's based on the number of LEDs. So I have 144 LEDs, and whatever the effect is, and 5 volts. If we set it to 5 volts at the more efficient kind, well, that should have changed, did it not? Yeah, 244, wasn't it? 144 minutes ago. Wait a minute, no, 244 is right. But it should change. Like, I think it responds to the effect. So if we're going to go here and go solid and turn the brightness up. Oh, sorry. It's going to. And let's go back here and look at it. And it should change the estimate. See, it's 2000 because that's my max. If I go into the settings and I change the effect to blink rainbow. Let's do something that's a little bit more. Candy cane, I know, takes a lot of current, so let's not do that one. Let's do something like color winkles, because that doesn't take as much. Now we go back and look at this, and it'll tell you what the estimate is for color winkles. That 244 is probably what it estimates when it's off. Hey, Quindor's here. Sweet. How's it going, dude? We have 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We should have some devices finally again. 5 volt LEDs will be more efficient. Do not use 2815s for anything where power matters. 2811 can be used, but 5 volt WS28B is still more efficient. Nice. Thank you very much. Excellent, Quindor. Excellent. Excellent. It also lists power usage per 300 LEDs for various effects and brightness settings. Oh, this is Quindor's. Oh, cool. Awesome. LED calculation sheet. There you go. That'll help. Would it be better to use 12 volt LED strip or 5 volt? Okay, good. Quindor's here answering questions. Love it. Love it. All right, so then you'll have to take this and you say, okay, if I'm going to run this effect all the time at this brightness, this will give you an estimate. So that's basically a half an amp, right? So this effect right now is using half an amp. So if you want this thing to run for 2 hours, if you're considering your battery discharge to 0, then you would need it's a half an amp. In 1 hour, you need a half an amp. Right? You know what I'm saying? I'm having a hard time with English. You would need a 1 amp hour battery would last 2 hours. Okay, a 1 amp hour battery would last 2 hours. Probably not quite, because you're probably not going to discharge it all the way to 0, but something like that, right? Dig to go would be ideal, but it's not here yet. But that'll be coming. That'll be coming. After I get my cameras online, I need to figure out how to have my dumb doorbell trigger Home Assistant to stream a camera on my TV. Love a good project. That's fun, Tanner. So what cameras do you have? What cameras are you using? Because some cameras will do that pretty easily and some won't. Does that help you? Does that, Alan, does that help you? to figure out what you need. And again, as far as the wiring, you know, you can find a way to just get 5 volts out of your battery pack with the USB cable. And I keep several USB cables around that are already dismantled, if you would. So, you know, I can just plug this in. I could plug this into a USB charger or a battery pack, and then I've just got a plus and minus wire there, and that's how I get my 5 volts. So you would just take this and connect it to, you know, your LEDs or your Did You Know or whatever you're going to run, and you know, then you would just connect them on the output side of your controller to this, and it would run. These are really efficient too. These are 2812, but I think these are really small. I don't know if these are technically eco or something like that, but these are really small. They don't use much power at all. Those Pixie lights, they're really good for that kind of stuff. For power bank, be mindful. They state which is converted to 5 volts, 90% efficiency. So when calculating, keep that in mind. So a 10 amp hour battery will only be like 60 amp hours in reality. There you go. There you go. Oh, Daewoo with blue iris. Oh, that'll work. That will work. That will work for sure. For sure, for sure. Well, since we're on the subject, let's pull out this guy. So I got a second row done, and I posted a couple pictures on Discord, which some of you probably saw. And if you did look at the pictures on Discord, what you saw was that I had the first row, this row, the inner circle done, and I connected up a controller. So I put 5 volts. The bottom circle here is ground. The top circle here is 5 volts. And then these diagonal pieces, I don't know how well you can see that. Let's get you zoomed in. Let's get you real zoomed in. Let's dial in the camera because it always resets itself. This is important. There we go. Okay. Great. So these diagonal ones here, that's the data. So this is data out, the lower pin, and this is data in, the upper pin there. Okay. And then down here, I jumped from one row. So the data, yeah, this is data out. It looks like it's going to the top one when you look on the screen, but this is data out from this LED down here goes to data in. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's right. Dang it. I was hoping that was the problem. It's going to data in on this LED up here. Okay. But when I made that jump from this, so I did this lower circle and they all worked and I was super excited and I was like, this is no problem. I could do this. So then I did this whole upper circle here, which is like 14 LEDs instead of just 8. And when I tested it, it didn't work. It went all kind of wampus and crazy. So there's a few things that could be happening. I tried to go in and make sure I wasn't touching anything. I wasn't shorting any data lines or anything. I tried to make sure that I was making good connections because you do have such little tiny tabs to solder to on this. And best I could see, it was working. It looked good, but it didn't, you know, it's hard to see. It's, you know, we've got fractions of millimeters in clearance on some of these things. But then the other thing that I think I could have done potentially is with the heat of the soldering iron, I could have damaged some of these LEDs. So what I'm going to do going forward from now on, first thing I have to do is disconnect this upper ring and basically just disassemble it. And hopefully not break the whole thing when I do it, but I'm going to have to disassemble this upper ring because I don't have any idea where my problem is. So I'm going to disassemble this upper ring. I may just start doing it by taking the datas off one at a time. But what I'm going to do once I get back to putting in new things, once I fix my problem here, I'm going to put in the ground loop at the bottom, put in the power loop at the top, And then I'm going to put in one LED at a time. And I'm going to connect the data and I'm going to test it. And if it works, great. Then I'm going to put in the next LED and I'm going to connect the data and the plus minus and I'm going to test it. So I'm going to have to do one LED at a time and test it so that if/when I run into a problem, which I will know where the problem is, right? Which is going to be a pain in the butt because it's going to take a lot longer, but it's still going to work. I mean, it'll work better than now, but it doesn't work. Whee! All right. Lewis has an off-topic question. We know what to do about that. Any updates for Sonoff DIY EXE? A quick link would help. Last updated in 2018 Discord link. Oh boy. Sonoff DIY EXE. Oh my gosh. So Lewis, you're trying to flash a Sonoff? Things have changed a lot. I don't know about Sonoff DIY EXE. I know like over the air Sonoff stuff. Gosh, with Sonoff, man, it's been a while. Oh, good. There you go. Sir Goodenough is your man, Lewis. Sir Goodenough is your man. He can help you. He knows it all. Remove the row jump, then test level 2 by itself. Yeah, good call. I'll do that. I'll test level 2 by itself, and then I'll start at the end, and I'll just start taking off the data connections and see if I get to a point where they're working again. And hope that I didn't just destroy an LED somewhere along the way. Good afternoon, Tech Diesel. Love the channel. Thanks for the info. You are so welcome, my friend. You are so welcome. And let's see, DIY. Great. There are no new DIY firmware devices. Things would have to be an old device. Yeah. Boo. Is Sonoff, Sir Goodenough? You probably know this. Is Sonoff still shipping their firmware with a DIY mode? Or did they just say they just gave that up as well? Oh, Sean, thanks, man. Thank you, my friend. Maybe it'll work this time because I turned on the speaker volume. Maybe it'll work this time for Sean. Let's hope. 121-inch projector screen you're trying to light up. Wow. DIY Mini, I think, was the only device. Maybe only one other. Oh, man. Yeah, buddy. Thank you, Sean. Come on, man. Why is this thing not doing? It should pop up and say something soon. I'm surprised it takes so long. Here we go. Well, let's say it.
Sean King Super Chat $10. Thanks for doing what you do.
Okay, good. So the default, by default, it for some reason it mutes that output, and I have to physically unmute it at the beginning of the stream for it to read off people's stuff. Lame. But anyways, it worked. And Sean, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. How's things? Ooh, excuse me. What you working on? You heard it this time. Yes. So that's where I'm at on this DIY, this cube. I love this thing, though. I got to say, again, this is one of those projects similar to the cube. This is the sphere. But similar to the cube where it's just kind of fun. It's just kind of I shouldn't say mindless because that's probably why it doesn't work because I turned off my brain when I was doing it. I need to tweak it in the scene probably, right? I need to save the scene. Yeah, good call. I just enjoy it. Like I had to pull myself away from it because I was doing it when I should have been doing other things, but it's fun. It's fun and I was having some trouble like holding on to things. So I got me some fancy new tweezers. Got a whole little pack of them from Amazon. They weren't that much. They were like $10 maybe or something. There's like 6 pairs of these fancy little tweezers. Super sharp little tweezers. I put a new tip on my soldering iron, but I don't think I like it. It's already starting to deteriorate. I don't like it very much. I don't think it's not quite what I'm used to, but we'll see. I got like 20 tips. What are we saying yes to? Yes, that we got the super chat audio to work, Yona. How's it going, my friend? Super chat audio worked, so we were excited because it didn't work earlier today, and it didn't work last week, but it worked before. Link from the blingy things worked. Oh, good. Oh, that's what you were saying. That's what he was saying. Yes, that's why we were saying yes. The blingy things. I was like, blingy things. I don't know. I'm just gonna be excited, and then I'll figure out what he means in a minute. So yeah, I'll start taking this thing apart and work on it a little bit more. My plan with this is I'm just gonna solder in some wires, and I probably just need to loop them out, so that I can test as I go, you know. And I'm just gonna. I mean, it came with that little controller and the little battery and stuff, but I'm not gonna use that. I'm not gonna use that. I'm not gonna use that. I might put a D1 Mini in there, but I mean, I'm definitely gonna run wLED on this thing. There's no way I'm gonna run anything else. I'm gonna run wLED on this, and whether it's got a wire that goes to it, it is pretty cool. Like the idea that you could hold it in your hand and have a battery and the controller inside is pretty cool. But I'm certainly not gonna use their controller and their software. I'm gonna use wLED. So, Home Assistant to the people. How's it going, Alexander? Have I tried controlling LED with a Stream Deck? If so, any tutorials? I actually do control wLED through my Stream Deck, but I do it through Home Assistant. So what you do, so there is if you have a Stream Deck, there is this guy's got a video about it. There is a component. So when you go to the Stream Deck software, you basically the Stream Deck software, there's an integration, I guess if that's what you want to call it, or a connection for Home Assistant. So in the Stream Deck software, you can, so like this is like my matrix over here, right? And my lights behind the computer here. I won't click on it because it's got a secret key. The key is a long-lived access token from Home Assistant, and you don't need one for each thing. You just need the one access token, and then you can do stuff through Home Assistant. Like all these, my lights in my office, fans, the bedtime. I trigger the bedtime button here. I put my shades up and down in the office here. Like it's a pretty good little thing. It's like the HA switch plate, but just nice with little tactile buttons and stuff. So you just create once you've created one with the long-lived access token, then you just use that long-lived access token every time you do a new one. And then you can basically do anything. You can run services. So if you wanted to do something specific with wLED, like I turn on and turn off the matrix with it. I haven't tried setting an effect or something, but you can do that with anything that you can do in Home Assistant. You can do with one of these buttons. So I'll have to work on that a little bit and see. Let me see if I can. So there's my authorization token. So you can call a service. So instead of toggle, I could call like select preset, and then that would do it. I guess if I show you this, you'll only see about half of my access token. So that's probably not that big a deal. I'll show it to you because it's only part of the token. So this is what it looks like, the Home Assistant integration. So you put in the Home Assistant IP address, your authorization token, that long-lived access token, and then you select the domain and the service. Now it's a little bit funny because it's not like we're used to seeing in YAML or like we're used to seeing in the developer page on Home Assistant. But if it's light dot, the service is light underscore toggle or switch underscore turn on. This would be the first part, the domain, the service domain, the first part. So it's a light or it's a switch or it's a cover or it's a select. That would be the first part. And then there's an underscore. and then is the second part, and that second part would be the service. So if we look over here, and you go to your developer tools, we go to services. If we look at the YAML of it, input select would be the domain, and then set options would be the service, right? So this service domain would be input underscore select, and then the other part here would be the stuff after the period. Okay. And then you have to do the data correct. And I thought it used to give you that information. Maybe it did in the automations at one point. But you have to in the service data, just like you would have data here. So in this one, you would have options and then sweep. So you would have to specify the entity ID, but then you would have after this quotes here, then you'd have a comma and a space, and then in quotes again, you'd have options, quotes, colon, space, quotes, and then sweep. Is this making sense to anybody? Did I miss the ESPhome Stepper motor part? No, JM. Let's do it right now. Let's do it right now. Okay. Back to my Cat 6 crawling around in the attic installation. See you later, Tanner. Good luck, brother. Robot vacuum replaced my old one and dropped it by mistake. Oh, this one is much smarter and has a robo rocker. Ooh, nice. Since Raspberry Pis are worse than GPU prices and stock, what does one recommend to get an ambient light setup going at the moment for a reasonable price? Tech Diesel, do you want it to do? It's JSON. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Good enough. This is JSON. Yeah, that's what you do here. You have to do it in JSON format. Okay, Tech Diesel. Do you want to do it behind your computer or behind your TV or Xbox? Because if you want to do it behind a PC, then the project to use is going to be Luciferin. Luciferin bias lighting. This one. I know we did this on a stream. I've been meaning to do a whole video about it. It runs on an ESP8266 or 32, although I think it's better on a 30 and an 8266 right now, depending on how you want to do your setup. But it uses that controller. Okay, so it's a sketch that runs on that controller, and then software that runs on your PC. But it only does PC. I think he said it does Linux, and I think he was gonna get it working with Mac, but I don't know where that's at yet. He does have this controller board you can buy. I don't know if he sells them that already pre-made, but you can buy the PCB and you can put it together yourself. It's very good. That's what I use for bias lighting on my PCs. I've been using this. I've been using Luciferin on my PCs, my PC screens here for bias lighting for many, many months. Probably over a year now, honestly. And it works well. It works very well. And it doesn't need a Raspberry Pi. The trick is you cannot do it through, you can't do an input, an HDMI input. So this does not work with a TV, and it does not work with like an Xbox or something like that. Link for this? You got it, buddy. You got it. We can make a quick link for this, Sir Good Enough. We can make a quick link for that, so we can do like capital, we can do Luciferin or Glowworm or something. Oh, so you wanted to do it on your 120-inch projection screen. Man. I should probably, I've got a bunch of Raspberry Pis laying around. I should probably put them on eBay or something. Auction them off. You almost did distract me for longer. Huh? And you can use it with a Did Uno or Did Quad. So there is, for the Uno, there is a little trick to enable the USB-C port. Really? So I've been trying, or I did try, and maybe it's changed. Maybe with newer versions it's better. I tried because I wanted to do like you're doing with your Dig2Go. Your Dig2Go will be perfect for this. The one of the things I really wanted to do with the Pixel Pro, which was that little controller that I was producing here at home, um, was I wanted to be the dedicated luciferin controller. If you could plug a USB-C cable into your PC, into the, in my mind, into the Pixel Pro, and then connect your LEDs on your TV and be done, that would be fan-flippin-tastic. Things all kind of went sideways because the USB functionality. So when you're doing luciferin, you can either do it through MQTT. So if you have an MQTT server, you can do it through that, and that's what I do because I do have an MQTT server because I have Home Assistant, and it works well. Or you can plug it in directly to from the USB on the controller to your PC, and it can communicate over serial. But it's like I said, it's made for an 8266, and at the time, which was 6 months ago or more, an ESP32, the version of this firmware for the ESP32 was not functioning very well using serial output. I don't know why, and I didn't get into it. And maybe he's changed it, maybe he's fixed it since then, but it didn't work back then. So I kind of got stuck there, and that's why. But the Dig2Go, which is Quindor's new invention, and since he's mentioned it here now, I think I can talk about it. The Dig2Go is going to be an ESP32, so maybe it'll work then. But either way, the Pixel Pro is kind of I don't know if it's dead, but it's certainly in perpetual limbo. But the Dig2Go may be the thing that will just plug in from a USB cable to the USB-C on the board and then out to the LEDs on your computer, and that's it. No other connections, no other MQTT, no other nothing. And that'll work. Well, this is as the alternative to Hyperion, because if you don't have a Pi, right, Diesel? Hyperion for a computer, for a big screen, that's what you want. You want Hyperion. So sell a kidney, whatever you got to do, and get Hyperion on a Raspberry Pi. Yep, Dig2Go would do that for sure. Check your PMs. Ooh. Thank you, Quindor. Thank you. Oh, mini fuse tricks. Oh, interesting. Can I show this? Hope so, because I'm going to do it. Oh my gosh, you and your high resolution. You and your high resolution cameras. Okay, so this is your little board on top, right? So the fuse trick. What did you do here? This is an old-fashioned one. What did you do here? Better to have Philips TV with Ambilight. No need to hustle to get lights to sync to what's showing on the screen. I don't know. I mean, how good do the Philips TV Ambilights work? Are they even still selling them? I thought they had stopped. I thought they gave up. Explain yourself here, Quindor. What is this I'm looking at? The D cape. Yes, this is the D cape. SD cape. This is the SD cape. This is going to make it so you can plug an SD card in. It'll have a microphone on board and a touch sensor. Pretty sweet. This is coming. Top secret. You love your Philips TV. It works fantastic. Oh, great. Great. Oh, that's cool. What? James, J After Dark just finished this. It's like a TV, man. That is so cool. What are those? Oh, he 3D printed those. Oh my word. Scan me. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. James builds some good stuff. Yeah, these little 3D printed triangles. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. What software are you running, dude? James, are you there? software is this running? Is this the sound reactive wLED that does matrices, or is this something else? That looks so crazy. Did you just do those randomly, or do you have a pattern? Looks like you did them randomly. That's cool, dude. Holy cow. That's cool. Just wLED. Regular just wLED, not even the matrix version of wLED. Oh man, you got to throw the sound reactive version on there, because they've got some effects for matrices. So it can do some things. In fact, they even have one that does the little logo guy, whatever they call him. He's got some funky name. LED art. Yeah, that's gorgeous. That's gorgeous, dude. Nice work, man. Did you make that frame too? I know you've been sending me pictures as you've been doing this, because I remember seeing like those little triangles that you were printing and stuff. Here's another little video of it. Oh, unable. Okay. AE plus, nothing to do with Ambilight, but happened to be on the photo. Those are the production right now too. Awesome. Randomly and then glued them together. This thing's going to be pretty useful. Pretty fun. I can't believe what you can pack into one of these ESP32s. It's just amazing what these little guys can do at this point. This is an old-fashioned Uno. This is an old-fashioned one. Right? Got the jumper. Well, that's actually a different. That's 1224 volt. You got this old-fashioned voltage regulator over here. Try the sound reactive. Yeah, try it. Check it out, because they do have some matrix effects. B3 DIY Uno prototype. Got it. Akemi is his name. That's right. The wLED mascot. That's right. That's right. So fun. So cool. But you were saying that this, how did you, oh, the fuse. Oh, I see what you're saying. So what you're saying, Quindor, I see. He just put a small fuse in so that he could access the USB port. Gotcha. That's what you did. So we were talking about using the DigUno for luciferin, and you need access to the USB port to do it through serial. Does anybody know? Did anybody use luciferin? Does anybody know if he has made it so that it works better with ESP32s over a serial connection instead of wLED? I just need to try it again. The trick with trying it is every time I try it on my own PCs, it screws things up for a while. So I try not to try it on my own computer that I like. Best I came up with was an old LED light panel. Ripped out the old crankled LEDs and put in my own wLEDs. Well, that's cool though. Leisha, is that Leisha German Shepherd? Is that your dog there? No, German Shepherds are great dogs. Not enough people have German Shepherds anymore. Boy, my wife and I sat next to a couple at church this morning that had a new baby. And oh, using Hyperion on your Dig? What? Oh, yes. Okay, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You still have to have a Raspberry Pi, though. No Raspberry Pi involved? Wait a minute. Hyperion running on a Dig Uno? What are you talking about, Stubbs? What are you talking about? Is that a thing? The baby sick? No, oh, sorry, but the baby was so cute. The baby was so cute, made me want to. I wish we had grandkids at this point already. Oh my gosh, that baby was so just scrumptious. Just the cutest little dude. So fun. Hyperion runs on the computer. Oh, then WLED gets a signal. Yes, okay, got it. Okay, so you're running Hyperion on a PC instead of on a Raspberry Pi. And then you're setting, so you can do that. So Tech Diesel, I guess you can run Hyperion on a different. You don't. It doesn't have to run on. It can run on different hardware. So do you have any old computers that you could put like Linux on and run Hyperion? I miss my girls as toddlers, and they're only 4 and 6. Oh my gosh, Alexander, my youngest is like 9. Grandkids are great. Hug them, love them, spoil them. I know what you meant. Then send them home. Yeah, my wife was holding this baby, and I was talking to him, and he was just smiling and giggling. He just was the cutest little thing. Looked like a little doll. And then he kind of got grumpy, and he kind of got hungry, and maybe he was tired because we kind of woke him up from a nap. So he kind of got grumpy and cried a little bit and squirmed a little bit. So we gave him back to his mom, and yeah, she got to deal with that part. uh, I'm not ready for my kids to be parents yet, but I'm ready to have babies around again. I love babies. Babies are awesome. I love Hyperion. I love LEDs. I love Home Assistant. Speaking of Home Assistant, let's squirrel one more time, except for it's not really a squirrel because it's actually the first thing that was on my, maybe not the first thing, but it was on my list of things to do. I want to talk about, we're shifting gears again. I want to talk about stepper motors and ESPhome. Okay? So we're shifting now. And maybe you could say we're downshifting, maybe we're upshifting. I don't know. But we're shifting gears now. We're gonna go to stepper motors on ESPhome. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to try and get one running. I wanted to try and use this, do it on one of these. Program up one of these. One of these guys. And put the ESPhome sketch on there. That's got it. So for those of you guys, I don't know how many of you guys deal with stepper motors or play with stepper motors or use stepper motors. This is what I've been waiting for. Stepper motors and ESPhome. Okay, DJ's here. Good. All right. Wait, one day they will just say congratulations, Grandpa, to you, right? Okay. So stepper motors come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Okay. These are the sort of smaller, weaker ones. Of course, there are the big ones that we can see on our 3D printers and such. One of the things that you have to have in addition to your stepper motor is a stepper motor driver, which I think this is. It's in my stepper motor bin. It's been so long since I played with them, I can't remember exactly. So I don't be tempted to just think you can connect to this to your ESP8266 and it will do something. You have to have the driver in between the two. Okay. So ESPhome and stepper motors. I have had this functioning in the past. In fact, I think my blinds, probably way back when I did my blinds, I did. So let's see. Oh, this is a servo. You're right. This is a servo. Forgive me. It also needs that too. Stepper motors is something else. Let me get that. I've lost track of my stepper motors. Hold on. How's that? Is that better? Sorry. Yes, you're totally right. Forgive me for my brain fart there. What did I ran over a piece of something? Okay. Sorry, steppers. But the good news, you can do servos with ESPhome as well, and servos are good on ESPhome as well. Haven't seen much work on stepper motors in ESPhome. It's an area not really covered much, so look forward to DrZzs exploring it. Awesome. Start smart roller blinds. Nice. Okay, so let's look at what I already have, because I have a functional sketch. Oops, update time. This one I can dismiss. Sound matrix firmware, skip. All right, let's go to ESPhome. And I actually have a, let's look at, don't I have the blinds? Didn't I do blinds this way? Here's the steppers. Here's the steppers. Let's edit this. Great. Okay. So, oops, you can't see. How about that? And unfortunately, I'm sorry, but ESPhome does not do dark mode. And I know, and Sergeant's probably trying to send me a thing, and it didn't work. Okay. When you're doing, I want to see it big. We need it big. Better. Okay. What's wrong with what I did here? It doesn't like something that I did. This sketch seems to be screwed up or outdated or something. Why does it have an X? I wonder. I must have. I haven't updated it in a long time, so. Wonder what. Usually it gives you. Usually it tells you what's wrong. Okay. Syntax. Mapping values are not allowed here. Line 38, column 15, ID my stepper. Okay. So we'll have to look into this. Let's zoom back in now that we know what that is. All right. So this is the meat of this. This is the meat. Okay. Well, let's look at the stepper. We're going to have to look at the platform here real quick and see what we need to do here. Sorry for the ignorance, but can you explain what a stepper motor can be used for? Oh, Nicholas. So stepper motors are what are these guys, you know, I want to hear what you guys would say about uses of stepper motors or the strengths of stepper motors. Stepper motors are what gets used in the 3D printers. So they can make very precise movements, right? So there's, well, these have how many steps, right? So inside of a stepper motor is like a whole, like tons of little magnets. So it can go to like exact positions inside there. So say you wanted so for me, what am I using it for? I want to build this magical interactive game out of Home Assistant and these devices for the Hobbit house, for my grandkids, whatever, right? So I want to have like a statue that will move its arms, okay? Or I want a treasure chest that will open the lid, okay? So a stepper motor for those is really good. I think it would be good because I could tell it exactly how far I wanted it to open and how far I wanted it to close. And most of the time they've got pretty good torque. You can get them with gearing systems on them as well. So they've got good torque, so they can really open something fairly heavy, right? Semicolon? Oh, we'll have to look and see. Random TCs laying around. Okay, good. The slash here, Rakery, put it in Discord, and I think it's the other slash. This way. Accurately positionable motor control. I was just typing it. Missing a colon at the end of line 37. Oh, this is off. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Something's off right here. We'll have to look into this. This API service. You're right. That's what's wrong. Okay, we'll fix that. Sweet. Where's the colon? Where would the colon go? Let's look at it in a minute. At the end of line 37, do you think semicolon? Not sure. We'll have to look at the example probably. So anyway, so I want to be able to control stepper motors for my little interactive game, right? Because I think we can make lights, we can detect things, so you can interact with sensors. The other two things that I want to implement are audio, which we can implement if you want to send things through a separate speaker. I'm going to play around with the ESPhome does have a an SD card audio player. So I want to get one of those and start playing with that a little bit so that maybe the actual device itself, you know, this little guy here maybe could even be, this could house the thing that the sound files that it plays, and it could play right off of this. Hook up a little speaker to it and it plays right off of there. So the treasure chest opens, and inside the treasure chest it makes a bling, you know, or something like that. But then I want motors. I need motors because kids love stuff that moves, right? If you can have a stuffed animal that like dances or wiggles or does something fun like that, or points, you know, like you're asking is part of this little quest. They're gonna want directions, and the knight in armor can point which direction they're supposed to go. Stuff like that. I want to be able to do. So that's why I'm interested in steppers. Practically, you can use them for things like I've used them for opening the blinds. Tilting the blinds open and close. You can do it steppers. You can do servo to do that as well. A whole bunch of good things. I did see that Insteon completely shut down. How about that, right? Indents are now off. /YAML. Let's see. No longer looks like YAML. Yeah, this one was off. Something was off. We'll sort it out here. We'll sort it out. Let's look at it. Okay. Ah, yes. You are correct, sir. That looks like what should be here, right? And then this should have a colon. You guys got it. So you guys have been trying to tell me that this whole time. Oh, yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. Thank you for the examples. Maybe one day I'll explore with stepper motors and integrate with Home Assistant. It's fun. I think, you guys remember that video? There was a video of like GE Smart House from like the 50s. It's really old. This one. Oh, it wasn't GE, Westinghouse. Sorry. I love this video. I absolutely love this video. I don't know when it was from the 50s, but so it goes through and about the home of the future, right? And a lot of this stuff we actually have now. We have a lot of this stuff, but one thing we don't have is a lot of these movements, these things that move. Like they show whole walls in here that just like disappear and slide back and forth and stuff. He's selecting his records. If you haven't seen this, you got to watch it and have some fun with it because this thing is awesome. It's so fun. They do video calls. They do, you know, lights coming on and off, all the simple kinds of things. But one of the things we don't have, yes. So there it is. See, like that, like it makes the wall move. Right? She touches that button, and the wall moves. Here's another one. Let's see. No, maybe not. Oh, and I think this is like an interactive. This is like an interactive map or something. It's so fun. This is a fun video. I really enjoy it, actually. Oh, yes, look at my shop. Except you had to turn on the switch. What the heck? I can spray paint in here. So like this, like a wall that moves, you know, like the to the outside. My heavens, she said, I think. You know, funky blinds like that to look outside. So anyways, anything you want to make move, you can do this. 4 guys on the back pulling. Okay, let's go back to this. I'm going to watch this later, by the way, because I think this video, it would be really fun to, and I thought about this when I first saw it and I haven't done it, but it would really be really fun to go through this video and say, you know, look at each thing that they talk about and go, oh, look, we have that now. We have that now. We have that now. We don't have this. Let's do it. You know, and I think to me, when I watched it, that was the thing, was making things move, making big things move. So Westinghouse was an off-brand of Best Buy. I was wrong. Oh no, Westinghouse, they make well, they used to. I don't know if they still do, but they used to make like electrical equipment, like circuit boards and boxes and stuff. They probably still do, right? That's why I thought it was GE, because they're that kind of company. All right, getting back into the ESPhome sketch. All right, let's look at the ESPhome Stepper component. All right. So there's some things that we must have when we're creating our stepper component. We must tell it the kind of driver that you have. And even though I was showing you that other driver, that was a servo driver, as many of you realized, rightfully so. So the stepper driver is, oh, that's a switch. I'll grab my whole bin full of motors. That'll have the right stuff. Oh, I was looking for those. Here we go. Here are the motor drivers. I knew I had a bunch. I haven't played with these in a while, but when I was thinking about what we could talk about on the stream today, this is what came to mind. So, all right, so these little guys here, this is the motor driver, the stepper driver. And there are a few different types, but this A4988 is pretty common and works fine. So that's what I got, and that's what I would suggest you use. All right, on that little driver, you're going to have a place where you need to set a step pin and a direction pins. And so you will, what this is saying is, where are you going to connect the step pin on your motor controller? So in this case, it would be like if we use one of these, we've got certain pins here that are available to us. One of these pins is going to be the step pin. So I'd have to say, okay, well, that'll be GPIO, whatever it is, 15 or something. And so in here, I would say 15. In the sketch, I'll say 15. So you need a direction pin and you need a step pin. So step pin, direction pin, and then you need a maximum speed. Now, I do think that this is I would like to have a sleep pin. I would like to have a sleep pin. This talks about the options here too. So acceleration, deceleration. So if you want that to goes slow and then fast, then you can set the acceleration to something other than infinity. And the same with deceleration. I think it says if you make this a small number, it will take the motor a moment to get up to speed. So if you want it to start out slow and then go faster, then you can change the acceleration. Or if you want it to start closing slow and then go faster, oh, I guess no. If you want it to start fast and then slow down at the end, which I would, right? Think about a treasure chest. I might want it to open slowly and then swing all the way open. Or I might want it to start closing quickly, and then as it gets to the bottom, I want it to slow down as it closes, right? So it doesn't just slam down. So I would change the acceleration or deceleration as options. The sleep pin. I really want the sleep pin to work. Set the sleep pin of the stepper driver. Okay, so I guess on this driver, there's going to be a sleep pin. I have to look at this driver and see where the sleep pin is. So it's the same kind of thing. I just assign an output from my control board, which would be my ESP32 TTGO thing here. And then the sleep pin on here. Is this labeled? Yes, it is labeled. So it is labeled on here. So there's an enable pin, MS1, MS2, MS3, reset, there's sleep, and then there's step and direction. All right. And then the other part of this, the other part of the driver here goes to the stepper motor. I'm not exactly sure where it goes. It probably goes something like that. On the 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, something like that. And then you have to connect a voltage and ground because usually this needs a little bit of extra power compared to what you're just running this on. Sometimes it needs higher voltage. I can't remember. It's been too long since I played with one. Anyways, so sleep, what sleep does is it turns off power to the stepper motor when it's not being used, which would be good for me because I'm running on solar and batteries and stuff up there and all that stuff. Jeff's here. Happy Easter. Is your motor 12 volts? Does the driver want 12 volts? I believe so, but I think what we need to do is go look at A4988 stepper motor driver, just generically here, and see how it's typically connected. Yeah. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Dang it. I just wanted to see this diagram here, but basically you can see you've got, this looks like you've got 5 volts. Is that what this is? Let's see if we can find another diagram here. Was that a potentiometer? 12 volts DC. This one. So you got 12 volts here coming into a converter. This goes to 5 volts to power your D1 Mini. And then it looks like maybe this needs some sort of reference voltage. I'm surprised that it needs all these connected here. Step and direction from here. They don't have sleep set up. They just have sleep and reset wired together. And then you've got the 2A, 2B, 1A, 1B over here. But then, yeah, you do need 12 volts to the motor controller. It looks like 5 volts as well to the motor controller. From the it needs some kind of reference to that. So, Ask is currently only working in Discord. Oh, good. Oh, thank you for putting that in there. Work Justin D has been done on the NCAA game integration in the Home Assistant. You can use automate your house during the Big Blue sporting events. Yes, Nicholas. I have seen some of what he's done, and it looks amazing. I can't believe how good it is. I need to get it set up. I need to get Justin to just walk me through it. Okay, so those are the basic things you're going to need. So you're going to need a motor controller. You're going to need a source of 12 volts and 5 volts. And then you got to know which pins you want to use. Now, so that is one part of this. This is a different kind of a stepper or a different kind of driver. Okay, so you could use a different kind of driver. If the stepper is driving in the wrong direction, you can invert the direction pin. Okay, fine. But then the other thing that you need to do is you need to create a way to make it move, right? So it's one thing to just create it, but it's something else to make it actually move. So okay, you can do that, but then how you still have to tell the controller what to do, right? 5 volts to MS1, 2, and 3, D volts. Yes. Thank you, C Sharp Worm. Do you do these a lot? Do you mess with these? So you need to create, let's see, to use a stepper motor in automations or templates, you can use this action to set the target position in steps. The stepper will always run towards the target position and stop once it has reached the target. Stepper motor set target. Stepper set target. If my sensor ID, my sensor state, return to 1000, else return to -1000. Okay. This turns the stepper to an absolute position. To have the servo move relative to the current position, which is good, maybe for different reasons. First, reset the current position and then set the target to the relative value. Okay, so it gives you an example of how to do that if you wanted to do that. For me, for what I'm doing, I probably want it to just go to the exact position every time. All steppers start out with a target and current position of 0 on boot. If you're an example, we want to home a stepper motor, it can be useful to report the stepper where it is currently at. With this action, you can set the stepper's initial internal position counter to a specific value. Please note that reporting the position can create unexpected moves of the stepper. For example, if the stepper's targeting current position is 1000 steps and you report a position of 0, the stepper will move 1000 forward to match the target again. Okay. Stepper set speed. Okay. Allows you to set the speed of the stepper at runtime. Acceleration. So this is, so the on, so those are triggers, right? So that's like if you press a button, then you can do this or that. What did I have in my sketch? Because my sketch was working back in the day. I thought what I did was created a slider. So let's see, service control stepper, variables, target, set target, port position, no. I thought I created, I'm gonna have to play with this some more. Never understood ESPhome. I need to fire up a stream one of these days and have people teach me, right? Like I am. That's what I do. Working on a stepper application for my battery operated crossbow crank. Having a hard time finding a motor strong enough with a small profile. Oof. Yeah. I was going to say strong enough we can do. Small profile, I don't know. There are geared stepper motors. There are just geared DC motors. But you're talking small profile, and you're talking about cranking back a crossbow? Whew. Think about making a locked... Oh, gosh, this is greasy. Something's greasy in there. All right. So let's do a thing here. Let's do a thing. Let's take one of my ESP... I don't know yet. API services, control stepper. I think it still needs to have, because we didn't create we created a service, but is it going to create a device? I wonder. feel like there's something else I need to do. Yeah, here we go. You still need this. So this will be the next part. Okay, so those two things, you need that part in the sketch that goes in ESPhome. This part, you need to create a slider in Home Assistant, and that will control how the stepper motor works. Do you see a password on mine? I thought I had it set to a secret. Geared hand crank that I'd like to motorize. Steppers can be pretty strong. But small profile, I don't know about that. All right, let's see what we can do here. How much time do we have? Oh man, it's already. We spent a lot of time talking about power and Hobbits. All right, well, what we'll do just in the sketch. Really? Oh, okay. That's a bummer. I think what you saw though was the backup. So that password is there. This password is just if this, it's a fallback hotspot password. I'm not going to use it anyways. Actually, I'm not even going to use the Wi-Fi on this because this is going to be a. I do want the web server though. I want to make this. I want to take my TTGo PoE and use this. Right, use this stuff. Ethernet. Let's do this. So I'm basically going to take this, copy this. Let's go to the steppers now, and that's what we're going to put in here. Ethernet, logger, API, OTA, web server. Oh, I have captive portal twice? No. API, OT. Oh, I have API twice? I have API twice. Can't have API twice. What is wrong here still? Oh, I can't have OTA twice. Can't have web server twice. Can't have logger twice. Jeez. There we go. Now it's fixed. Okay, so this is the beginning. So let's see if we can just save this, and we will plugged into this computer. No, the device connected via USB to the server. Let's just manually download it for now. Let's just manually download it, and then we will flash this guy with the flasher. Flash with the flasher. So then we'll at least we'll be ready for next time. We'll be ready for next time, and I will do a little bit of preparation as well, which I admittedly have not done much of here. Did I ever do part 2 for your Sweet Home 3D video? I just watched it and was wondering. No, I don't think I have. I don't think I ever did. Can't remember though. What did we leave out? What did we say we were going to do? It's so different now. Doing a map for Home Assistant is so different now. All right. Glasses. Oh, okay, great. We're going to go to Flash Easy. And I think I have an ESPhome folder. Do you want to replace it? No, I don't want to replace it. Let's go TTGo PoE. And we're going to call this Stepper. Save that. Great. Now we're going to fire up. Gosh, I haven't done this in a while. Old fashioned. Oh, I guess I can do it this way now. Never mind. Hold on. Close that. Actually, I think I can connect this to my computer. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to, for those of you at home, I've got this. When you have these PoE LilyGo flash or PoE devices here, you got to connect their fancy little programmer. And for some reason, their fancy little programmer, I'm pretty sure, goes in like this. Which I guess could also go like that. But I think they've made it to go like this. Let's look at a picture of it just to make sure I'm not doing it wrong. Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's on the bottom. On the bottom side, looks like that. Yep. Okay, that's how it's oriented when you flash it. So if I do this, back to ESPhome, if I do this, I should be able to plug this guy in. I don't remember if I have to hold anything down or not. I don't think I do. So what I did was just, so USB cable, programmer, held into the pins, lights are coming on. Now I will go to my stepper sketch. Where did my stepper sketch go? Where did my stepper sketch go? Oh, did it change the name? Where did it go? I think I now have two. Oops. Yep. Whoops. I now have two that are called the same thing. All right. Well, anyways, install plugged into this computer via USB. So it's downloading it again. It's going to take a minute. "3D map done, but didn't know how to implement it." ESPhome web. Connect. Yep, there it is. Install the downloaded project. Choose a file. Okay, so you do have to. And I had just put it in here, didn't I? Not secret plans. No. Flash easy. ESPhome. And then I think I called it what? TTGo PoE Stepper. That one. Open that. Okay, and then install it. Hopefully this will work. Erasing. Oh, I see some flashing. Device disconnected. No. What? Resetting your device or hold the boot while selecting your serial port. I think it's just because I moved my hand. Okay. Too quick. Trying to hold real still. Installing. Okay, now we're having success. Yeah, all that happened was I had let go. I kind of moved my hand a little bit. Now I'm not even breathing. So Nick, yeah, that's a good question. Because with Lovelace, which is now I guess just called, they even took away the Lovelace name. I think it's just dashboards. I would bet. Do you guys know? Does Lewis have a video about doing a map on dashboards now? I need to do one for the Hobbit House. Oh, that would be fun. I have the Hobbit House drawn in Sweet Home 3D. Congratulations. Okay, it's installed. Closed. Great. Yay. Sweet. All right. Well, all I'm going to do now, though, is just label this thing so that we know that this is the stepper one and that I can start playing with it with the stepper. And we can see where we get after this. Okay? But we'll have to do that on the next time because it's Easter. My family wants me. I'm sure yours wants you as well. Hey, C-Tendra, we're just finishing, dude. I'm sorry. We talked a lot about power. We talked a lot about we talked about the LED sphere a little bit, and then we were just getting going on. I need to change the name of this file. We were just getting going on this thing. Can I rename this thing? Guess I can't. Oh well. We were just getting going on putting steppers on an ESPhome. Still on, only for a minute though. New subscriber, love the channel. Wallace, thank you very much. Because you're a new subscriber, we're going to play this for you. This will be fun. This will be fun though. We'll get to this. We'll get it working. I think I have PoE that will break out 12 volts. That's kind of a lot of power to run over that though. We'll see how it goes. Probably just want to do separate power. It won't be small. It'll be easy. Awesome sound. Yay! MAGA-Fee, happy Easter. Mine don't want me. I get grumpy if you're on and I can't help. Well, I'm gonna let you get to spend some time with them. Happy Easter, all. Thanks, DJ. Looking forward to more stepper motor stuff. Could you do some work on rotary encoders too? Ooh boy, is there a? You put the sketch somewhere else, you may get helpers. Let's call up the kids. Pudding.
It's time for sign off.
Here they come.
It's time for sign off.
I forgot my hair under fun,
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I'm a floating head.
You are a floating head.
Wow.
Woo.
I also have floating hands.
Oh, I'm actually gonna put this in my. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this. We'll put it in here.
I'm wearing my pickle onesie.
Your pickle onesie.
I'm not scared.
All right, girls. So how are we signing off today?
I'm a floating face. Like you're in pain.
Like you're in pain?
Yeah, because
But it's Easter. Shouldn't we sign off like a bunny rabbit?
Yeah.
And put your teeth out like this?
White, half
Like this. Yeah, like this. Okay.
biting.
All right, we're gonna sign off for Easter Bunny. Ready? Okay. Have always. Rainbow watching. Till next time. Adios. I don't know if the Easter Bunny has a lisp or not, but mine did.
Remember the Easter Bunny in that movie that we watched?
Oh, yeah. The Rise of the Guardians. Yeah, that's right. Rise of the Guardians. Oh, look at that, peep. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for hanging out, guys. Have a good week. We'll see you next week. We'll do more of the steppers next week. We can definitely do more of the steppers next week. All right, here comes the outro. Bye.
Bye.